Hello, everyone. I am thrilled to introduce Paul Can, one of my favorite clients, and he's just made really an incredible transition from entrepreneurship to corporate, and it was such a journey, so inspiring. So I'm so grateful, Paul, that you're here to share your story with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Olivia. It's a pleasure and an honor to share, and hopefully it's going to be supportive for others going through the journey, understanding the challenges that a lot of people are going through, to see that there's a light at the end of the tunnel and there's a lot of possibilities for them. So I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. So tell us, where were you when we met and you started the Career Evolve process?
Yeah. So I had been in corporate previously, but have been running my own business for the past 4 years. So very much didn't have the network as I was transitioning back to corporate and closing down my business to feel like I had the relationships to come back, because they were mostly in the entrepreneurship world. So coming back, I think there was a lot that was involved. I think my confidence wasn't where it needed to be, especially after transitioning out of my business. That really took a big hit, having gone through a lot of the challenges that I had there, and also feeling like the sense of failure in a way of closing down my business, of feeling like I was coming back. It wasn't my intention when I started my business that I would come back to corporate, but at the same time, it felt like that was where I needed to be despite the challenges. So when I came to Career Evolve previously, I had been in a space of trying to get back into that game of applying for jobs, but doing the cold applications honestly felt like I had the background and the resume to at least get several interviews, especially for jobs that I felt like I was definitely qualified, if not overqualified for. But just after doing it myself, it was incredibly discouraging, not even getting a call back, not even getting any kind of response. And having a small young family, I didn't have the luxury of just waiting around forever, hoping that something was going to happen. Finances were a challenge for me as well. So I needed to jump on something. And I recognized that in my time running my own business, you can either continue to figure it out yourself and hope and pray something does happen, or you can pay for someone or find someone who is an expert to fast track your growth. And I think that really factored in me making the decision to go with Career Evolve, because I knew that I didn't know what I didn't know. I hadn't really had to look for a job previously before. When I was in corporate, I was in the same company for 8 years, which I think a lot of people have similar experiences. And I didn't really have to go look. It just kind of fell on my lap previously. So it was a new territory for me. And I recognized that I can't do the same thing over and over, considering the changes in the market. And I needed to find an expert. So when I came across Career Evolve, a little bit by chance, I think it was an Instagram video, just jumping on the call, there was an energy of feeling like this was a place where I could not only find the blueprint to figure out what to do next, but that there was a component of mindset of transforming who I was as a leader, which I feel like was really needed for how I was going to show up, and felt like this was a community that I really needed as well. So that's what brought me to the Career Evolve, and here we are on the other side later, and seeing that it all ended up being the right decision.
Yeah, I know there's so many people out there that can relate. So I just want to emphasize, Paul, that's an incredible background. You've got PepsiCo, you've got TEDx stages, you're an international keynote speaker. Like, you've got really impressive resume,
right?
But then you still couldn't get that attention. So what were some of the challenges that you had to overcome to get on the other side of this?
Yeah, I think a big part of it was what a lot of people don't talk about or think about is what it does to you from an emotional and a mental standpoint when you come in, especially with a certain level of expertise and background, feeling confident, having created results before, and then going into the market and getting absolutely nothing. Like, no one talks about that. Yeah, you are coming in, putting in the reps, but just that disappointment over and over and over, it really starts wearing on your confidence. You start having self-doubt in terms of, am I really as good as I think I am? Or, is there something missing that I'm not seeing? Or, wow, like, is it really that hard for me to land a job? And you end up in this space of no man's land where you're going after these jobs where you feel like you deserve or definitely qualify for and make an impact for. And when you're not hearing back, you start downgrading yourself and you start looking at, okay, maybe I should get a job that is lower in pay. But guess what? You're still not getting those jobs because recruiters are seeing that you're overqualified and know that you're not going to stay in that job. And they're wondering, okay, what is your intention here? They don't want someone to treat them like a bridge opportunity per se. So you end up in this no man's land of not getting anywhere. So I think that aspect was probably the biggest challenge I had to go through, of mentally doing the reps, keep going and believing that it's possible for me. Because after a while, I think that really wears and tears on you. And then you start being in a space of, hey, I'll just settle for what I can get. And I don't even know if this will ever happen for me ever again. So I think there is this huge sense of self-doubt, that emotional taxing process that you go through that is really challenging to get out of if you don't have community, if you don't have support, because you're just battling against yourself every day and you expend so much energy staying stuck. So I think that's one component of it. I think the other component was I didn't know what I didn't know, which was I thought that, hey, go and apply for jobs, you go through the typical job application process. And if you just do enough of them, it's going to happen for you. Well, as I went through this process, I can't even count how many applications I did. I barely got any interviews. I think I got about 2. The opportunities didn't work out because I didn't have a relationship with the people that were interviewing me. I didn't have anybody vouching for me. They're like, why should I bet on someone like you when I can bet on someone internally? And so you're constantly battling that challenge of, do they take a chance on someone brand new or do they go with someone internally, which I would say 9 times out of 10, they would go with someone they know. So through that, I also didn't think about connecting my previous network with where I am now. I was from Canada before. I didn't think that my network previously could do anything for me or could support me in any way. So I completely wrote them off, which was a huge mistake. If anything, just realizing that the amount of deposits, I would say, that I had made in the past of supporting others and working with others, providing value is something that I needed to bring into the situation and realize that they can really support me to make the referral or make the first connection made all the difference. And I think having written that off, feeling like I was alone trying to network and, having to do it the hard way was a huge difficulty when I realized that actually, if anything, I needed to rely on relationships and making the right connections and continuing to serve and provide value in a way that complemented my strengths was where I needed to be. But I wouldn't have known that without someone pointing me in the right direction.
Wow. I know for so many
from the shell of myself before of not being in my power and not fully stepping to my confidence and being the most powerful, influential version of myself, going from that place of not realizing what was possible for me to being on the other side now, being bold, being fully in my most powerful self and showing up in that way, knowing what I can provide, knowing how I can impact and showing up with a different level of energy in just every area of my life. I think that has been the biggest transformation. It isn't just about getting a job. It's about knowing who you can be in that job and who you can be beyond that. And so I think just having the tools and going through that process, especially with your coaching as well, Olivia, knowing and believing that that person is within me and bringing that out, I think that is the biggest thing that I got out of that, because now me showing up in this job, I'm not planning on staying there. I'm planning on moving way beyond that. And if anything, I think in my previous career, not even knowing and feeling like there was a ceiling for where I could go in my career, now I feel like the sky's the limit because I know who I am. I know the value I bring to the table. I know how big of an impact I can make. And if anything, if a certain employer doesn't see that, I now see that as, that's their loss. It's not mine. I get to find someone who can see what I bring to the table and, we're going to create amazing things together. So I think that is the biggest win I got out of that.
Wow. So there's just so much. I just have witnessed a front row seat at your transformation. And I wanted to let you know you were just fire, so much gratitude and overflow of energy. And it's like, wow, when you just show up that way, you become a beacon of light, such an inspiring leader and magnetic to opportunities. So I know that you're inspiring so many people just hearing the roller coaster, but seeing just how you're showing up today. I think it's just really powerful. So thank you so much. And is there any parting words you want to share to anybody that's like, is this going to work for me? It should just settle. I don't know. Any last words for them?
I guess a couple of them. One I will say is that when you realize that whatever you believe to be true is what you will end up experiencing, you get the opportunity to be back in the driver's seat of seeing what is possible for you on the other side. I think even if someone gives you a golden treasure map and you don't believe that the golden treasure is on the other side, it doesn't matter what kind of tools or support or roadmap you try to gather, because at the end of the day, if you're not going to get in the driver's seat and believe that you're headed towards that destination, you're just going to end up somewhere else. So I think that was the biggest thing, believing that this is possible for you, even though there is no evidence in your current situation right now, even though it seems bleak or it's challenging, you're not getting the results that you expect. And I think especially as high performers, we have very high expectations of ourselves. And I think the biggest thing that comes down is getting hard on ourselves of, why am I not creating the results? Well, what I want to say is that trust that this journey is so much more than you getting a job. This is about you growing as an individual. And sometimes you're not getting what you need to get because maybe there's an area of growth you need to experience in this journey in order to get there. So really lean in and take in in those learnings and take it by stride every single step of the way. Focus on the little wins every single day, even if it's something that you did that you can control, something that moved your way that didn't yesterday. Every little thing that moves the needle, when you just focus on getting up, being 1% better than the day before, doing more, leaving it all on the table, know that very, very soon, before you even realize it, these opportunities that you've been slowly working towards will come flooding towards you, and you'll have more abundance than you know what to do with, and that the perfect person is going to see you and find you if you continue working your way one step forward at a time and believing that it's waiting for you at the end of the day. So keep going, don't stop. Know that everything that you're doing every single day matters. You got this. Trust yourself, believe in yourself, be confident that whatever is within you, no matter the outside circumstances, no one can take away from you. You have so much value to offer to whoever this lucky employer is. It's not about just getting a job right now. It's about finding the right person that is going to see you. And that person is out there. Just keep moving towards it because it's going to happen for you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Paul. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.